So you're thinking about buying an annuity. Well, it's probably not your idea. Someone probably talked you into it or tried to sell it to you. So let's talk about, are annuities good investments? That's the question. And generally, my answer would be no, they're not. But not because all annuities are bad, but just because most people who sell annuities don't know how to pick good ones. And that becomes a problem. So let's talk about it. First, I think it's important to set that there's three main types of annuities. I'm going to talk about the benefits and downfalls of each. If you're considering an annuity, it's probably because you're interested in one of two things. One, removing market risk and risk in general from your portfolio. Or two, you're interested in establishing a pension-like income with the assets that you've accumulated through your working years. As I mentioned earlier, there's three main types of annuities that we're going to talk about in this video. The first of which is a fixed rate annuity. For me, this is the simplest of the three to understand. It works just like a CD at the bank. You get a guaranteed rate of interest for a set amount of time. The big difference being a fixed rate annuity defers your taxes to the end of the contract, whereas a CD at the bank, you get a 1099 for that interest, and it's taxable each and every year. In my experience, fixed rate annuities aren't used as much as some of the other options, mostly because they don't pay large commissions to agents like me. I've included a copy of today's highest rates along with the commissions as a slide here in the video, so you can see what's available in the market and know if someone is proposing you an annuity right now, what your rates should be. Fixed rate annuities offer lower commissions to agents like myself, and so generally, they're the last resort. Not for me, but for most agents out in our... And so that brings us to the next type of annuity, an indexed annuity. While it is similar to a fixed rate annuity, and there are some fixed rate components that exist in it, it's also got one or multiple index components like the S&P 500 or the Russell or the Dow, or even some proprietary indexes that some of these companies use in their contracts to credit interest. And while the index component can provide for some higher rates, we'll show you some double-digit returns here that we've experienced. It's also important to note that product selection, when it comes to indexed annuities, is probably more important than the company you're buying from or the agent that's selling it to you. So what are some common things that we need to look for? I've thrown up a chart here that we're going to use to talk about it. Things that we should be looking for. A high fixed rate option. If we choose not to take the index linked for the year, we want a fixed interest rate option that's going to provide for us a fair rate of return. We also want interest rate caps that are relatively high. A cap is what limits your interest in an annuity. And when I see people who have low annuity returns historically, generally their product would have low caps or low participation rates and much higher commissions to the agent. These products are very simple. They're going to benefit one of three people. The company that's selling it, the agent that's selling it via a high commission, or in some rare cases, the consumer who's purchasing it. Some of these products carry much lower commissions, much higher rates to the consumer, and those are generally more favorable. And you can achieve double-digit returns in a product like this without any risk and without any fees, but only assuming that the agent who sold it to you knows how to pick the product appropriately for your needs. As you can see, the commissions for this product are significantly higher, making it more appealing for agents like myself to sell products like this. The dangerous part becomes when agents put the commission in front of the client's concerns. As I'm going to show you here, there's products that are significantly longer in term that may not be suitable for someone in retirement, but we've seen a huge increase to products like this because of the high commissions. You can see those listed here. In summary, there are some good index options out there, but you need an agent who's willing to sort through all of the high commissions and all of the high fees to find the products that can pay you real results that you're looking for. That brings us to the third choice, the variable annuity. In my experience, variable annuities are sold by financial representatives who have been asked for a fixed rate or an index link option, but aren't yet ready to give up that annual commission that they're bringing in on your assets under management. There's an ongoing fee inside of a variable annuity that largely gets passed back to the advisor that sold it to you. And so while there may be riders or benefits inside of that contract that sound similar to those safer options that we mentioned earlier, variable annuities by name vary in the interest that they pay you. A variable annuity could go up, but a variable annuity also could go down. You're invested in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds inside of a variable annuity, and those things go up and they go down. They vary. They didn't get very creative with the naming of these products. A fixed rate annuity gives you a fixed rate. An indexed annuity gives you a chance to make higher returns based off of an index like the S&P 500. And a variable annuity, while it can provide higher returns, can also provide much higher losses, whereas an indexed annuity and a fixed rate annuity guarantee that your principal remains intact. Your rate of return in a variable annuity is going to be dependent on the investment options that you select. And those investment options could carry higher fees than some other alternatives inside of the contract. In my opinion, variable annuities are some of the most deceptive investments out there. They offer potentially higher returns, but on average, they charge you between 2 and 3% in fees once they're all added up. And I've included here some fine print from a very reputable company's variable annuity selection that shows how those fees are A, disclosed to you in very, very tiny font, but B, also disclosed to you in a way that makes them seem very, very small. But they add up. There's little pieces here and little pieces there, and if you don't know what questions to ask, variable annuities are not very forthcoming on what those fees are. And so here's some things to ask for if you're considering a variable annuity. One, is there a fee? Is there an ongoing fee in this contract? And the answer to that is always going to be yes. It's generally somewhere between 0.5% and 1%, and it's very upfront. But that's not it. If that was it, that would be fine. But there's additional fees that if you don't ask about, they're not going to be disclosed to you in most cases. Ask about a mortality and expense fee. Ask about a rider fee. Ask about sub-account fees. All of those things can be added on to your variable annuity, and those fees can become quite cumbersome in your quest to achieve higher yields. 2 to 3% in fee is what we see on average with a variable annuity. And so, in my opinion, while you can chase a higher return in a variable annuity, you also will pay a significantly higher fee to own it. And so what we see over time is that those returns look very similar to the fixed or the indexed option. In summary, while I don't think that all annuities are bad, the majority of annuities in the market are designed to benefit advisors like me or the company that's selling them. And so if you don't have someone who is going to walk hand in hand with you and select a product that is beneficial for you as the client, annuities are not a good investment. They largely are high in fees, they pay high commissions, and they don't pay as much in interest as some other options that you may find available to you in the market with the right advisor. Be careful in your selection. And so don't look as all annuities are good investments. Rather think, I need to find the annuities out there that are good investments. And we're more than happy to walk you through that path. Let us know if we can help. And as usual, we hope that you found this video informative. Thank you.